Okay, we'd like to call the meeting to order at 7:30. So we will start out with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Jada has volunteered to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I tried to get her to do the prayer, but it didn't happen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And we have asked Lucy Christensen if she would give us a prayer, please.
Heavenly Father, please bless us that we'll be able to have an effective meeting where we're able to accomplish everything we came here to accomplish. And please bless anybody in the community who's struggling, that they'll be able to receive the help that they need, and they'll be able to feel welcomed. And in Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, young ladies. Real quick, I need to excuse Kim. She's on Zoom, so she is in attendance, but she's not here. And Justin, our Public Works Director, is sick, so he's not here. And I have my back fused, so I am kneeling and standing. So I hope people can.
Your chair.
Jeff goes, is he sitting on the chair? I think he is. Jeff's not sitting on the chair.
So, no, I'm kneeling.
Okay, kneeling.
So, okay. So, I'm sorry, but that's the best I can do for you. Okay, so if there's no, are you guys listening? Yo, do I need to push my button?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Where is it? I forgot to bring it.
There it is.
Okay, so council members, if you have no questions about the minutes, I would accept a motion to approve calendar items 1A, B, C, and D.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve consent agenda items A1A, B, C, and D.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve calendar items 1A, B, C, and D. Jeff?
Aye.
Blake?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
Adam? Aye. I just make sure.
It worked. I was gonna say it worked.
4 ayes, okay. Next, we need to do the swearing in, so Sandy, you're up.
Okay, we'll just, if you want to, in front of the flags, just so everybody knows, according to Idaho Code 74203, Kim will be able to be sworn in via Zoom. Okay, it does allow that. So, Mary, you'll be up first.
Oh, I'm up first?
Yep.
We don't.
We maybe you can borrow the chair if you want.
Do we get to see her be sworn in? How does that work on Zoom?
Right hand?
Yep, raise your right hand.
This is my left hand. I'm just checking to see if it's anything.
Okay, I'm not going to have you repeat it, so when I get done with the oath, if you'll just say I will or I do, okay?
Okay.
I, Stacy Pasco, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Idaho, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Mayor of the City of Shelley according to the best of my ability.
Yes.
Congratulations. Okay, Jeff? Okay, raise your right hand, repeat, or you can answer I will or I do. I, Jeff Kelly, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Idaho, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of councilman of the City of Shelley according to the best of my ability.
I do.
Congratulations. Okay, so since Kim is via voice here, we're going to have her repeat a few words at a time instead of just saying I do. Okay, Kim, you ready?
Yes.
Are you raising your right hand?
Standing, raise your right hand.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to see it.
Okay, repeat after me. I, Kim Westergaard, do solemnly swear
I, Kim Westergaard, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Idaho,
and the Constitution of the State of Idaho,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of councilwoman
the duties of councilwoman
of the city of Shelley
of the city of Shelley
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Okay, congratulations.
Okay,
Okay,
we're moving through things here. Next on the agenda, Linda Arby. Is there a Linda Arby here? Okay,
she must have forgotten.
moving right along. Is there a Rod Hanson?
Now, Justin said he wasn't sure if Rob was going to attend. Justin had talked to Rob before, and he had actually requested a light on, in the vicinity of North Hanson, or North Lincoln and, over there, North Lincoln by the alley. He lives on the corner of East Center and North Lincoln, but it'd be just down a little bit on North Lincoln toward the school. We don't have a cost on it yet, he's just requested it. Justin said it is a dark area over there, it is kind of by the school. The going rate so far from what we've seen is about $3,500 to $4,000.
Probably closer to $4,000, I think is what Justin said.
Yeah.
You what?
He said, Justin said it was closer to the $4,000. I think we need to wait for him to get his due diligence done,
Well,
find out where it sits
We
and
probably need to go
place
look
it
at
in the right place, right?
Yeah.
Cause I don't even know where this is at.
So let's.
And Justin said he could bring more details on it, because he wasn't sure if Rob was gonna be here.
The old bus barn,
Okay.
right between the old bus barn and the house.
So he wants it, so he wants his own street light. For his is the only house to the corner.
Well, his house is on the corner, but I think it's because it's dark back in there by that bus barn.
It is.
It does
The
get
city
dark
took the
when
light
the
out,
school
right?
drops the kids off and stuff like
What's
that.
that?
When the kids get dropped off, like ski club and all that activities
It's
at
dark
night,
over
it
there.
does get dark over there. Even like when I do
We probably didn't
basketball
talk-
at 8, 9
That might
o'clock,
be
it's
something we
dark
talk
over
to the
there.
school about too, cause
Yeah.
the bus barn used to have lights on the building.
Well,
And
how,
they took the building down.
how come they don't have lights on the back of the building anyway?
They do at the school,
But
but
just not.
yeah, but that whole area right there when, you know, kids are walking and stuff like that.
it's
We
pretty
need to go
dark.
check it out.
And
That's
that
what I-
light would
that's
be
what I-
really good to help light up Short Street in that back area too.
Right.
It really would not be a bad
So did
idea.
they take the whole, cause I know the bus barn lit up that back part,
Yeah.
just cause it's been so
All
much time
that's
back
gone.
there.
Yeah.
No, that's
It-
gone. They really-
It gets pretty dark.
Probably put it right
Right
at
at
the
the corner.
intersection of Short and, that.
Let's go
It'd
look
be
at
a
it
good
and
place
see.
to be. I drove by it the other night, it's dark.
It is dark.
And I don't think that Justin has talked to Rocky Mountain to see where the power would get drawn from either, so this was kind of the preliminary step to it.
Okay, all right, so we'll wait and have Justin do a little more research on that. Okay, Dave Noel's not here?
He isn't, but I know he needs this letter of interest approved, so he may be coming a little bit later.
All
I
right,
don't
we'll
know
go
if he is,
past it.
but we need that letter for the SRF funds.
Okay, so do you know what?
I know, we told him to get to find out what we needed to do, and it's ready to go. It's not match for match, is what I understand, right? Did
Okay,
Justin tell you anything about it, or?
let's
Well, he
skip,
was telling
let's
me,
skip
we'll
it,
skip
we'll go on
Come back to
and
it.
come back to it.
Okay.
Okay. Next one on the agenda is Kim Hansen, waive orange tag fees.
That's me, I'm here.
Okay, so Kim, come right up here so the microphone picks you up. Jeff, if you'd turn your mic towards the podium there. Okay,
I was just asking, to have the fee taken off because I came over on the 30th, I didn't know you guys were closing earlier. And you guys were already closed, and when I came back into town, I stopped here first, and when I got home, I already had the orange tag on my door. I was out of town.
So I've attached the letter, the delinquent letter, that we send out on that, and there's different options that you can do, you know, you can call in and make arrangements. The tags went out, I think, on the 22nd, was due on the 30th. That's the day Kim said that she came in. We could have taken a voicemail, you know.
Well, I didn't think about it, I just planned on dropping it off, but I didn't have an envelope, and I didn't know you guys were closed early, so
Yeah, and she
it
had
was cash. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable just dropping that in there.
well, listen, next time you have cash, just put my name on it and drop it.
Yeah, Stacy, here you go.
So how's the bill now? Is it paid up, or is it?
I think there's a little bit past due. I think $17 or $18 past due for December, and then the month of January is owed.
Are you sure? Cause I brought in 150, that would've,
I think there's 109 left on the account. 92 is for January, so
oh, okay,
18.
cause I
yeah.
was trying to make sure I paid a
Or
little
16.
more.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I'm just reading the notes here real quick, so give me just a sec.
So I'm clear too, it's the $25 orange tag notification fee that you're asking to be waived.
Yes.
Yeah, so the letters go out, and usually they're given anywhere from 7 to 10 days to either make arrangements or to pay partial, make arrangements, or pay it in full. And then if we don't have any response, as you can see, the date was the 30th. On the 5th is when we actually sent off the orange tags.
I know we work with a lot of people, because people call in and make arrangements and stuff, so. I don't know, questions, comments?
I just think it's going Christmas holidays, given what was going on, that we should probably waive it.
You know, when I have something that's due, sometimes I wait till the last day to do it too, so I can totally tell, I can totally understand waiting till the last day.
Especially, yeah, in the middle of holiday stuff,
Yeah.
and heading out of town, and make sure that's the last thing you do on your way out.
Okay,
I'm okay waiving that.
I am too.
if we're going to, I need a motion then.
Make a motion, we go ahead and waive the fee for $25 on the tag.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Kim, are you in favor or against? What'd she say?
She said aye.
Okay, 4 in favor, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Recognized citizen from the floor. Young ladies, one of you, or all of you are speaking. I'm not sure who. You guys have to go stand up here so the mic picks you up. Let's see who the bravest one is, that's what I want.
Kinda looks like a lineup, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like other
Okay.
So, we are from Shelley High School, and we're representatives from the organization called FCCLA, just like an organization like FFA and BPA. And I'm Lucy Christensen, I'm a junior.
I'm Mikkel Robson, I'm a freshman. I'm Allie Erickson, I'm a senior. I'm Sadie Erickson, I'm a sophomore. And I'm Jalen Hansen, and I'm a sophomore.
And we are doing a service project to hopefully make it to state out of districts called Hanging On to Hope, where we're collecting stories from around the community of anybody who's gone through a hardship, which we all have. And you're just writing down what, either if you want to share the hardship or just ways you've gotten through it, whether it's words of encouragement or just words that people can look at and receive strength.
So we're gonna publish it in a book and put it in the Ronald McDonald House. And the Ronald McDonald House is basically a place where people stay when they have relatives or family that's in the hospital for a long time. So it would give them hope to look at. And all the responses are anonymous and stuff.
So if you would like your story to be posted in the book, it would be completely anonymous. And we would love to have your guys' experiences, family, or other people you know who've gone through something that are willing to share how they got through it, or if somebody they know went through something, how they helped them get through it. And that's our Hanging On to Hope service project.
Okay, so tell me what the club is again?
It's actually an organization.
Organization.
Yeah, it's called FCCLA, also known as Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. And it's just a big service project, a big service organization where you do a service project and then you go to districts and present it in front of judges, and those judges judge it on how well you present it, and then you go to state and then nationals.
Okay.
So is this your whole club?
No,
You girls?
just a few of us.
How many you have?
Around 15, 12.
That's pretty good group.
Family, community, career.
Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America.
Leaders of America.
It's one of those old guys we call home ec, but it's on steroids for them now.
It's
pretty
actually
awesome.
FHA back in
Yeah,
like a.
old FHA from back in the day.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's way cool. They do a lot of good.
So what you're asking us is if we've got any stories, to write these stories, but they'll put our name on them and.
Yep.
Okay.
And I think they're looking for community too. If we could hang that maybe on the plexiglass in there for the public that comes in to
Put the
see
QR
that.
code up.
Is that okay to
Yeah, that would be great. And districts for us is February 18th, and we would like all the stories in before February 18th. But we do have to print the book eventually, so if you are able to get it in as soon as possible, the more responses we have. We're hoping to get around 100, and that's when we're going to make the book and deliver it.
That's great.
That's great.
Good luck.
It's a great
That's
project.
awesome.
Good luck with it.
That's good. Okay, thank you for coming in, we appreciate it.
Yeah,
Just a-
here's
just
the
a-
QR code, just scan it.
And they're all in the back.
This is the Ronald McDonald House down in Salt Lake.
No, in Irma.
No.
Irma.
Oh, they have one
We're
here?
back in Idaho.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah.
good, good. I was hoping it was
It's
closer to
Ronald
home.
McDonald, they have a house that's offsite.
You guys put all of them in the back, you said? Right there back in the back? Yeah, I'll probably move it, it's okay for now, but I'll move them in there, so when you come back in, I'll have them into City Hall, okay, we'll put them on the counter in there.
Thank you.
Okay.
They're all in It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that they have them up here. I was thinking going down like by primary.
My
Yeah, there's one
my
by
grandparents
Primary.
used to run the one in St. George.
Yeah, your brother's wife should write.
Yeah. I was gonna say, we could probably get some pretty cool stories from the community.
Yeah, you don't have to be very deep to find people that have been through tough stuff.
Pretty tough stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Earl.
So,
Our young ladies.
Write your story.
Okay, next on the agenda, new council business licenses.
Okay, you should have a list of the business licenses that have been received for 2022, behind your memo. Looks like there's two secondhand good sales, both of them are for Hidden Treasure, the rest are all just renewals.
Do we have to do them separate?
The secondhand you do, it's a specialty license.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the business license, the specialized business license for Hidden Treasures.
I'll
on
second.
secondhand goods.
And moved and second that we approve the business license for Hidden Treasures, there's two of them. All in favor? Kim? Okay, 4 in favor. All right, now the general business licenses, we have,
I'll make a motion that we approve the general business licenses as stated.
do I have a
I'll
second?
second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve all the business licenses as stated. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 4 in favor, perfect. The next one, we're going to, let's go to assignments for the council, okay? We're skipping the appointing and all that, we're going to the assignments for the council members. So, that's what these people sitting up here, their assignments are. Okay? So if you guys deal with anything that they're assigned to, bug them about it, okay? So, all right. So, I'm gonna appoint, or assign Jeff to be over City Hall, City Administrator, and the Tree Committee Liaison, and Elite Retreat. And he's already over the sewer until we become a district, so, and you're not getting released from that, so.
I wouldn't like when we become.
Next, I'm gonna do Adam French, he's gonna be over Police, City Attorney, Urban Renewal, and Ready Liaison. And then Kim Westergaard will be over Parks and Rec, CCOG, and the schools. So she'll deal with the schools. And Leif, you're gonna be over Public Works, Building Inspector, P&Z, and Engineering. So that's the assignments everybody will have this year. And next meeting, we'll do all the appointings of people in charge and everything. So, I mean, all the department heads, sorry. Okay. Consider resolution, okay, let me rephrase that. 8B, D, is consider resolution for a new credit card company.
Okay, we've had calm data for years and years, and they're increasingly becoming more difficult to work with. We recently switched banks for ICCU, and they have a good credit card program that we can manage. They have already looked at our financial reports and seen in the minutes where we've previously discussed this. The last final step is to create a resolution saying that we understand that we are applying for this credit, these credit cards or line of credit, and the following employees they wanted authorized to be able to use it. So I list on the resolution that's behind your memo who would actually have cards. I talked to the department heads, and there's a list there that would be limited to that. Each employee, on the resolution it says each employee shall be limited to a line of credit not exceeding $1,000 unless approved by the department head or governing board member. This makes it a little bit better. It's become a little bit more costly when you send somebody like to travel and they have a hotel expense, plus they have to get gas and parking. Right now we have that $1,000 line of credit. The way that they set us up through ICCU is I would manage that, and if I know that they're going to go out of town, I could change it for a certain period of time for them to maybe have $1,200 line of credit. So when they get over there, they wouldn't have a problem checking out.
So we wouldn't run the issues we do over in Boise.
Yes, yeah. So anyway, this would be the last step if you guys would consider that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and approve resolution number 22-01 to concerning our credit card. I guess reading our credit card.
I'll second it.
it's been moved and seconded that we go ahead and approve resolution 22-01 to create a new line of credit through
I guess
for a
it's
credit card
ICC,
company
yeah.
from ICCU. All in favor?
Aye.
Jim? Okay. 4 in favor.
Okay, thank you.
Next, consider a resolution for meetings with engineers besides, or extra meetings, I guess is what it should say, right?
So this was actually approved at the last council meeting, and I failed to have the resolution prepared. And so this is just following up on that. You guys approved it to do it by a cost basis, and that's just what the resolution is stating.
So do we need to approve this resolution since we have the number now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Make a motion that we approve resolution number 22-02, resolution concerning subdivision application and planning review.
I'll second
City engineer.
I'll second it.
Okay, so moving and seconded that we approve resolution number 22-02 for subdivision applications with the city engineer. All in favor?
Aye.
4 in favor. Okay. Next thing is we're gonna throw down to I. And some of these we crossed out because Justin's not here and different things. So we're gonna drop down to I, discussion of downtown revitalization. Jeff, I'm gonna turn that over to you.
Yeah, if you don't mind if I'll stand here for a minute. So I talk. One of the things I wanted to talk about was I spoke to a couple of people about downtown and about revitalizing it. You know, over the years, we've kind of looked at downtown and we've kind of just said it kind of takes care of itself. It's kind of interesting right now, the downtown area, all of State Street, the occupancy rates are probably higher than they've been for years. People are moving into places that normally are vacant. A lot of people are trying to move into places that are vacant and the owners don't want them to move in. But, you know, we've talked about downtown and about being able to improve it, and I think as the town continues to grow, it would be important for us to look at it. We could look at some of the things that we could do, you know, by changing lighting. We've looked in the past, we've had an urban renewal down there where we've changed the fronts of buildings by allowing people to have access to funds. I don't know how successful that really was. It went on for about 20 years.
Was it that long? Was it 20 years?
It was about 20 years.
I think it was like the
1990s?
93 or 94 that it was started. We actually, I think, started the urban renewal right close to that date, but it took a couple of years to get enough funds in it to do anything.
Right.
And the facade project, we actually ran 5 different phases of it, and it was pretty successful. There was only a few that didn't utilize it.
But what it did is it just raised the taxes on the buildings, but didn't necessarily increase the occupancy.
Right, so the whole thing was first, you had to sort of show a blighted area. So, you know, they were granted money that basically would raise their property taxes over a long period of time, which would basically pay that urban renewal back, but it was supposed to bring in economic growth at the time, you know, make it look more pleasing
Right.
facade-wise.
So as I've told people, you know, as a council, we're not kings here. We don't control property. We can't control what people do with their property. But we can be here as a benefit, as a community, to those who own property along Main Street. And so what I would like to do is be able to get together with the landowners and have a round table with the building owners and that, and discuss some things that they can do to help improve the rents and possibly improve the downtown area. One of the things that I proposed initially is that we allow, which we have not allowed in the past, but allow that second-story apartments be either constructed or renovated on some of the buildings downtown. They can't park on Main Street, but they could park in the back, but we'd allow the upper floors to be used for apartments and the main floors to be used for retail. And that might possibly make it palatable for someone to maybe take one of those vacant sections and build a unit that would have a main floor retail and then upstairs apartments. Apartments are huge right now. They're hard to come by, but that kind of urban living is becoming huge everywhere, not just in Idaho Falls, but in a lot of communities, Rigby, Rexburg, Pocatello, Blackfoot. And so I think that's something we could do.
Have you thought about parking, where they gonna park?
They park back behind, and if it became popular and it became problematic in that regard, I think that we need to work and find a way to find grants or whatever to improve the backs of the buildings over there. Not just for parking for future tenants, but also for safety of the retail units themselves. We've had a number of crimes being committed back in there because it's dark. I think it's something long-term we could possibly look at, improving that alleyway and possibly lighting it. We could, as time went on, if it became a problem with parking, we could then take this park behind the building here and turn it into parking and either lease it out to all property owners or whomever that want to use it for parking in part and for public parking as a whole. This is all very fluid. I think one of the things that we need to first do is talk to the landowners and see exactly what they would like to see happen in downtown. But I think there's some ways that we could improve that. One of the other things I would like to see that the city possibly consider and look at closely is doing a farmer's market. And I'm not talking about a small farmer's market. I'm talking about a large farmer's market. I'm talking about something that would have hundreds of entries that would be done on a Thursday night in the summertime from May, third week of May all the way through September before the fair, to just about the fair. And basically it would be on Center Street and Emerson and Pine. We'd have hundreds of entries and allow people to come around Shelley and be able to display their stuff for several hours on a Thursday night. It's something that's big. It's not probably more big than we probably can bite off and chew. But looking at the insurance, there's a way we can get around that. Electricity might be a problem, but it's just an idea. I'm just thinking outside the box. So I'm presenting this to everybody just so you guys can kind of mull it over and come back to me and give me thoughts of what you think. Once again, this has to include the landowners. If the landowners and the building owners are not interested, then nothing happens here. But I think it's an opportunity to show a good faith effort on behalf of the city council and the city government that we reach out to these people and say, listen, we have an interest in your property, we have an interest in that you are able to vitalize the downtown, and we'll help you in ways that we can. So that's some of the ideas that I've thrown out there, and first I would like to just have the blessing of this council that we could have a round table meet with these guys and see what their interests are.
I just know one building has an apartment above it. Is there other ones that have apartments above it?
No, it really is.
So it'd be something
I
that
think
they
there
would have.
were in previous.
You think so?
Yeah.
Remember several years ago, a gal coming in, he was,
I think there was a couple.
Yeah,
staying
right
temporarily.
now, we know that there's
Just
one
rooms.
apartment above the barbecue place, but back years and years ago, there used to be apartments all along there in the upper part of the buildings.
We have
That
some,
was a long time ago.
yeah, we have some open spaces in there, and I don't know if we could ever encourage someone to build in those spaces. It would be nice for the downtown to have those spaces filled in.
Right.
And so, I think, there's a lot of things I would like to do by way of window dressing. I'd like to remove those power lines across the street that the railroad has by bringing power now that we have across the way over there by Locust and running it to the gates both at Center Street and down to Fur, and then removing those lines. One time, Union Pacific Railroad, when Chuck Lloyd and I talked to him, were agreeable to removing those lines. And it would be nice to remove those aesthetically. And then it would be nice to get rid of those awful 1970s 25-foot high lights and put in.
Big lights, you want those cool lights?
No, it'd be nice to put in some lights that maybe were low impact, that lit up the street, but were not so
We looked at some
glaring.
of those at AIC, and
they're-
we thought they would be really, really expensive, but quite affordable, and they actually use less energy. There might be a grant or something out there that we could get just because we're using less energy too,
Yeah.
so it's something else we can look at.
So those are some of the things I just think we can look at, but more than window dressing, I think we need to really look at seriously seeing if there's a way we could change downtown. There's a lot of interest in it right now, and maybe that will continue. And so that's what I'm just hoping to do.
I agree. I think you're gonna have to talk to the landowner.
Yeah, if they're not on board, it's kind of like when they went to build the highway up there, we were thinking of putting an intersection right there where the old Kings used to be, across the railroad tracks to that land back behind. There's a lot of industrial land back in there that could be prime industrial property that would be huge because it's one turn off the freeway for a truck to go there. And we approached the landowners and they weren't interested, so it never went anywhere. And it may well here, but I think as a city, at least we showed a good effort, and that way we can always say, we tried.
I agree. Mike, I think we need to talk to the property.
So that's the first thing I want to do, is just have a round table meeting and just talk about some of these things, so.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll go ahead and do that, and we'll set it up.
We'll send over the stuff.
That's all I have in that regard,
Well,
thanks.
go ahead and keep standing, because the next one's yours too.
Oh.
Review
Okay.
the letter that you
Now, I
drafted.
don't have that, the letter's about halfway drafted, I've rewritten it several times. I talked to Commissioner Mark Bear about this. I've told him that I'm going to be sending a letter down to the commissioners. I think I spoke to all of them that I was going to send this letter. I would like to have a letter, and want to draft a letter that's signed by the council and also signed by some of the large landowners in the area about the urban sprawl that's occurring outside the area in the county. There's a number of county developments that are occurring at an explosive rate, and it's kind of disturbing. And I'll tell you why. I don't have a problem with people developing their land. People have a right to do with their land what they want. But when the county starts allowing 1 acre lots outside of our impact zone, because they have access to sewer and then each lot has its own well, we run into several risks of several different things. One, traffic. I don't want to see what happens here, what happened up in East Idaho Falls, Bonneville County, or Jefferson County, where we have huge developments that are developed without the infrastructure and the thoroughfares being built to the sides of the traffic.
Small bridges, small roads.
Yeah, so you have basically.
4-way stops, 2-way stops.
Right, so you have basically 26 feet of asphalt sitting on a 60-foot right-of-way.
Yep.
And you got 1 million cars running up and down.
Just drive out.
That will be a problem.
County.
And then who ends up bearing the cost? We all end up bearing costs as county members after the developer leaves his development and takes his money and runs. And I don't think that's appropriate. Number two, there's a problem when you start putting homes that close together in urban areas. Mowing an acre of lawn is a lot more daunting than it appears when you first decide to buy the home. And so what we're finding is that in a lot of these developments, people are not necessarily putting the whole area in lawn, but they have some areas that are weeds and things like that. And in talking with Randy Adams, the fire chief of the district, one of the problems that we're seeing, that we could see, is if you had a structure fire in the fall, in November, with a heavy wind, you could end up having 2 or 3 structures involved in a fire with no fire suppression in those developments. You've got a tanker truck that holds enough water just to fight the fire with 2.5 hoses for 10 minutes. Then it's back to Shelley to fill up again for 20 minutes. You could have a serious problem on your hands. So I recommend the county needs to look at that, whether they require at least a fire well, fire suppression well put in for at least one hydrant in these developments or whatever in front of them. But to allow them to just go the way they are could be a problem in the future. My final thing is that when we go and put that many straws down in the drain, we have a tendency we could draw down the water level in some of those areas and become a problem. So there's a lot of issues that come with this urban sprawl, and I just think it needs to be addressed to the public. It needs to be open and transparent. Like I said, I'm not demanding that people not develop their land. I think they should do what they want, but it needs to be done right and proper, and I feel like it needs to be, some of these issues need to be addressed. So I think as a city, we have an obligation, not just to the citizens in the city, because they're taxpayers in the county, but to the overall northern Bean County area. We want this area to be developed in an appropriate way, an appropriate manner, with streets and roads and everything that can meet the demands of housing that's built on smaller lots. So I'll bring that letter at the next meeting and see if you guys are willing to sign it. And if they are, we'll go forward with that.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect.
That's all I have. Thanks, Jim.
Okay, next on the agenda is K. We have 8K, boy, we've got a lot of, 8 has got a lot.
I know.
Some kind of a policy for COVID testing?
Yeah, so, back in October, we decided to let the Family First Medical Leave Act go through till December 31st of 21. Then we was going to implement a new policy in 22. So I've talked to Jeff a little bit about this. Jeff, in the memo, I put what we've talked about. The only thing you and I didn't discuss is where the time was gonna come from. So what we discussed is if you're home, or if you're sick, stay home. If you test positive for COVID, you need to remain home for 5 days. I believe that's what CDC is recommending. And
From the time you become asymptomatic.
yeah. Now, you talked about a certain test to use. Is there, I mean, can any test be used?
You can get the one test that's not very it's not really that accurate, but it's somewhat accurate. That gives you
So you got a 20% chance that it's accurate, or a 50% chance?
I don't know the answer to that.
Oh,
depends on who you
I
talk
think it's a
to.
little bit more than that, but yeah, it depends on who you talk to. But you can get that back fairly quickly. The other one, the PCR test, is one that you can get back in 2 to 3 days, and that's pretty accurate, but I don't know if you want to wait that long. I think we probably want to just go with the one test.
With the rapid one, like
The
the
rapid
hour-long
test.
one?
How much are they?
I don't know that either, but I don't think they're very much.
I think insurance covers
Insurance
it.
covers most of them. I mean, insurance covers
If
them all
you're
the
showing
time.
symptoms, they do.
Yeah. And that's why, that's the only time you get is if you're showing symptoms. So,
Okay, so in that case, if somebody in your family got it, then what do you do? I mean,
So we had a couple different things on here.
Yeah.
One is if you're sick and having symptoms and you get tested, then you need to be off for 5 days. The other one is if you have a family member that tested positive, that's why I wasn't really sure if the employee should be tested or not. Jeff, what did you think on that, if they're not showing symptoms?
I don't think they should be tested unless they're showing symptoms.
Okay. And then, so we was thinking any time off, if you test positive and you haven't taken any time off, then that 5 days, what I would like to propose comes out of your long-term sick bank. Currently, long-term sick is if you're off more than 5 days or you have a medical procedure. In the case of this one, you're kind of, CDC set a mandate of 5 days, so, I mean, you know, I would like to recommend the long-term sick bank. If you're not, and you stay home because you're feeling ill and you're not sure, but you don't get tested, then it would come out of your personal leave, is what I would like to recommend.
And that's what I agreed with as well.
Going back to we could turn this thing inside out, we could dissect it 100 different ways, but if you said if a family member tests positive, then the employee should only be tested if they are
If they
showing
have symptoms,
symptoms.
and that isn't listed right here in this.
What about, what as far as coming to work? So as long as they feel okay and they come to work? Even though they have a family member that's tested positive, or?
I've probably had COVID 10 times and I just don't know it myself.
Well, I know that, I don't have an agenda here.
We're coming to the end of
This
this
is so-
pandemic, but I think as long as you're not displaying a temp fever, if you're displaying a fever, you shouldn't be
Well,
worried.
I think that's common sense.
And
If you're sick,
That's what
you're
they
really
did.
sick.
That's what Dr. Fauci
Okay,
said.
Kim said
It's
the
just
school
common
district
sense.
has something in place.
Yeah, if they don't have any fever or any symptoms, you have to wear a mask, but well, this is the school district in Idaho Falls, this isn't Shelley, but you come to school and you wear a mask, and as long as you don't show any symptoms.
So if someone in your household tests positive, you have to wear a mask, but you still go to school. That's the way the school district's doing it?
Unless you have a
Yes, and
fever.
I don't know what this.
Well,
people
yeah,
might be
assuming you have no
wondering.
symptoms,
As
but
soon as you have no symptoms, if somebody in
Then
your
they
household
wear-
does, then you wear a mask. And every school district's different. My wife's school district in Blackfoot is a little bit different than that, but they're running, this is all coming to right now. They're running out of substitutes. They don't have any. Like tomorrow, they won't have enough substitutes to cover all the sick teachers and kids. And that's just the way it's flowing. We always see it a few times later because we don't get it until everybody comes back from vacation, because they bring it back with them, as we get a handle on it. So, there's goods and bads either way. You talk to people that I know that are in the medical field, and they'll be like, wear a mask. And I go into offices all day long, and some are wear a mask, some aren't. 9 times out of 10, it's the medical offices.
right, no, I understand that. And what I'm trying to say is, I just want the policy to be comprehensive enough to anticipate
What's going
those
on.
situations we can reasonably anticipate, which is my wife, my kid, my husband, whatever, got tested, they're positive, what do you want me to do? I just want us to cover those kind of reasonably anticipated situations. I'm not advocating for
Right.
policy one way or the other.
I think we should have a thermometer here at the office, and someone that comes in who has a family member, they should be tested first in the morning to see what their temperature is, and if they don't have a fever and they're not showing any symptoms of coughing or any kind of thing like that, they should be allowed to work. But if they do have any of those, they should stay home or should be sent home.
You know, if they don't have a family member that has it, and they come in and they have a little bit of cough, they don't have a fever, but they have a cough, like in our office, it just stays away from them. You know, I guess if somebody's really sick and looks really bad, then we would send them home.
If you have a fever, if you're coughing excessively, if you have a fever, I don't think you should come to work.
Right,
If you're showing
if you have
symptoms.
that. But, I mean, you know, if somebody feels like they have a head cold and that's all it is.
Well, yeah, because we don't want that to get out of control either. I mean,
Yeah.
we got
You don't
different
want the
sicknesses.
flu or a cold to go around the
I
office.
mean, I've got a
No,
son,
but what I'm
I've got
saying
a
is
son
there-
right now that doesn't have a fever, but he sounds absolutely
Well,
horrible.
there's always something going around,
Right.
so.
Especially now that it's minus degrees outside.
Right.
Hot, cold, hot, cold.
So if they come to work and they get sent home, that would come out of their PL, not long-term sick, unless they test positive, correct?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yes. That's kind of what we agreed to. we
So
talked about.
the long-term sick basically hinges on if they test positive or not. If they choose not to test, then it just comes out of their PL if they're home,
Right.
right? Okay.
Cause every one of the employees is gonna be different, right? Everybody's got different time off, everybody's got different
Yeah.
needs they have to fulfill, so is that seem fair and equitable across the board, Sandy? Does what we have written here seem fair and equitable for all the employees?
I think so. Rob, what do you guys think?
I think so, yeah, I really do.
Jordan, is
Well, it's an objective
Does that sound
standard.
right from?
Would you guys accept a rapid test, like if you bought some over the counter, or is it only a physician test?
Cause now
So
you
like-
can't,
like if-
you
like if
can't
you're not
buy them
feeling
now
good,
and you
and
take
you
the
just go-
test.
Like if you go take a test and you just bought one from Rollins and tested positive, would you accept that, or would you have to go to the doctor and get one accepted?
Well, didn't we say that you're not gonna test unless you're showing symptoms? So you'd have to be showing symptoms before you test.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're showing symptoms yourself, but you're like, I don't think I have COVID, but you go test it on just an over-the-counter one and it tests positive, would you still want one from the doctor, or would you accept that one?
I don't know.
Personally, me, for my guys, I would prefer them go to a clinic, because the clinic does it, it's an actual medical facility, get it done, and I think we can feel that better. There's no way, there's.
Cause your insurance covers it anyway.
Personally, yeah, I feel better doing it that way.
I agree, and you can go to Express Lab and literally drive through and not get out of your car, and it takes 15 minutes and your insurance completely covers it. And it would be based on a medical's, professional staff, so I think that's the way I would require it.
And for all of our people, the clinic does it, you just walk in and they'll test you.
Yeah, you can go up to, I think they do it by appointment on that one up there by, the Army Surplus.
Right, that one, yeah, I mean ours.
Over here?
Just
Okay.
across the street.
Yeah. So, any of those would work.
Okay.
Okay, so what I have down here is if somebody tests positive while they're showing symptoms, they show symptoms, they go get tested, it comes out of long-term sick, and they need to be off for 5 days. If they're sick, they don't want to test, or it comes back negative, it comes out of PL. But if they're sick and coughing with a fever, then we need to send them home, and it still comes out of PL unless they get tested, right? Is that kind of how everybody had it?
Yeah.
Okay, if there's symptoms, they should stay home. And we'll go ahead and get one of those, and I don't think they're expensive, those, you just shoot their forehead to see if they have one, just to
$20.
check. Okay,
I think we have two in the back.
okay. Oh, did we get some of
I
the,
believe we bought them from Sam's Club back in March of last year.
and have them, okay.
Probably 2 years ago.
I'm gonna go ahead and write up the policy, and I'll give everybody a copy of it, just so you guys can
Okay.
approve it, okay?
All right, perfect.
That's good.
Let's see, well, I gotta stand up so I can read this. Bingham County comment, Bingham County comment for 3 parcel, let's see, A, B, and C. So the first one is, let me get back here, Hampton property out by the Butte. Out by the Butte.
It's a gravel pit and the other piece. So he only wants to do he wants to subdivide his lot into 3, and the one piece is the gravel pit. You don't tell him the gravel pit?
On this, I don't know if you guys recall him coming in, or actually, Chris Strait came in and talked about that. So the one that he's referring to that would hook up to, that would access city water, that already has city water, that's a shop, so I'm assuming
Lot
he's gonna
2.
tear it down.
Yeah, it's lot 2.
No, I thought the shop was on. It was on lot 3.
Yeah, lot 3 has the
Lot 3
city
has
water,
water.
1 and 2,
Lot
we're
3
gonna have
has
wells.
water. Water runs there. Lot 3 has water, lot 2 does not. And lot 1 is behind it.
Okay.
How close are they to the parks? Is that within?
The other right next
Is he
to it.
right next to the boundary?
He is, right?
I drove by there, and I think he is right against.
Yeah,
Right
right
next to the
next to
boundary
it.
is what this piece of property touches it?
So if we,
So he's in
allow-
the impact area, he needs to
well,
build it
then
out.
we would just annex him in if they want to use the water.
Right. And he's gotta build it out the right way, he can't just
Yeah.
keep the 3 in. Is lot 1 bigger than 5 acres? How big is it?
The total
I
is
can't
got
read
five,
this.
eight,
My
5.7.
Bibles, I can't read the number.
Lot one is 3.68 acres.
Yeah.
3.6, so it's under
They're
5.
1 acre, they're
And then he's got
both
1 acre lots on the others.
Yeah.
But they're not proposing to have city water on lots 1 and 2, which are adjacent to the parks, I think.
They can't even build on lot 1.
Until
Don't
they
have-
fill in the gravel
They
pit.
don't have any road, no, they don't have any road frontage, period. There's no road frontage.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no, they
No, I
are
thought the road
adjacent
ran
to,
by lot 3.
here's the parks.
Well, the road runs on lot 3
I
and
thought
2.
the road ran here.
No, the road runs this way.
Well, that's the main road, but I thought there was a road that ran there too.
I don't know if that's a county road, is it? It's not a county road, I don't think.
I think there's a road right next to the building.
They
Yeah,
said
that's what I
that,
thought.
they said that they have county road
It
access.
shows,
but
I mean, if you look on the, like
You
Google
look at
Earth,
the
you can
GIS.
see, yeah, you can see where
So it
there's a
runs
road.
along the canal.
It
So
does.
he's using that little bit of frontage on lot
Yeah.
1 as
Yeah.
his access.
Yeah, so he's coming in.
Because he said that access to the others would be by easement.
I don't like it. I don't like it. It's got 2 lots in front of the big lot, what? You got no access. I don't think it's wide enough access for Randy, for fire.
Well, if he uses the second one, he's got the trailer sitting right there, so then you're,
Yeah, so where's he gonna get access to lot 1 if he builds on it? And just send it and say it's not up to city, it's not gonna be up to city code in the impact area, no.
In the
Don't approve
notes, it says lots 2 and 3 shall not have individual driveways, but shall have a shared access to 900 East Butte Road.
Yeah, we have a shared road.
That's what it says.
Because that won't meet subdivision
can't
code
share
when
roads in
we
the city.
annex it in, so they shouldn't do it. So comments back are, no, build it to city code because it's touching city property.
Well,
And it's on the north side, it touches, it's
it's
in
in the impact area and it actually touches city property.
It actually touches parks, which is city property.
I don't believe that road.
It's in the impact area,
we
definitely,
just tell them they need to,
and let's get our impact agreement going.
well, no, and then if they don't, you have to decide if you're gonna enforce it against them.
So yes, they need to follow the impact area.
Well, then that road going back to those other lots is not wide enough to be.
Well, they're saying they're gonna have a shared drive down here in the middle.
No, I'm talking about
Oh, yeah,
lot
that
1.
one. Yeah, he's gonna
That's not
redesign
big
it.
enough, that's not a 60-foot right of way, 50-foot right of way.
Right.
Maybe
Close.
50 feet.
I still don't know why he's 1 and 1 and 3.86 because it's the
Well,
gravel.
because it's gravel pit.
I know.
Yeah, so you've gotta do something with the gravel pit. I think they're trying to do.
Yeah, I don't like that the gravel pit is the one.
Is the gravel pit where the shop was?
No, it's
No.
behind it, it's
Behind it.
closer.
Well, it says on here that lot 3 already has city water, if the shop wasn't on the gravel pot.
I think they're getting it down by the canal. so-
Oh, lot 3 is
Right
the
there.
front one, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
that
lot
was
3
the-
has it.
Okay.
I thought it was lot 1, but lot 3 has water because it touches the line right there. So yeah,
Okay,
send it back.
send-
Okay, so
Send
send
me
those
the
comments
impact
back.
area.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is the Butler family subdivision, 1 lot, out in Woodville. Well-
Out in Woodville.
Okay, so, everybody's gonna hate me for saying this, but I grew up out in Woodville, but not in the town site. Like a few miles outside of the town site. And this should have been taken care of 70 years ago. So,
Put it in the town site
no, I mean,
Do it.
they need to bulldoze the whole thing down and
and start over.
start over, but whatever they do, it doesn't matter. It's not gonna make any difference out there. So I wouldn't say anything there. I myself, it's up to you guys.
It's off Woodville Road.
Yeah, it's off Woodville Road, and there's such a hodgepodge mess out there from one end to the other of it, that it doesn't matter.
Okay, so no comments on that then? Okay.
No.
This would.
Okay, and then the last one is Kent and Curly Carlson, 15 acres. And so anybody that's watching or here, I'm not a social media person, so I get a little bit of information from Sandy and a little bit from my wife, and that's about the extent of my social media part, because people say ridiculous stuff sometimes. So, but the interesting thing to me is, it sounds like there's people against it, but 2/3 of the property is already C2, so they could do it, whatever's, basically, it looks like to me they're just squaring that up, and then running along the canal. So,
Clearing up the boundary lines is what it looks like.
that's what it looks like, but
And you need that frontage on the other side of the lot that's for the library. So you're gonna have to have some way to get access into there without coming off of.
I don't understand what the deal is here. I mean,
It's
I'll
busy,
get-
it's a busy road.
if you're gonna put a development in there, you're gonna have to access city sewer and water. You're gonna have to be annexed into the city.
Yep.
The city's impact zone, I don't even think in the impact zone we have that. Is it C? Is it C1?
no, that's county.
No.
So there's designated as C2.
I know.
What it would be, it'd be
In our
HC,
comprehensive-
or
in
we
our-
can change it to CO.
Right,
Central
well, what's our comprehensive plan say that is?
It's
What do you
probably
mean?
It's probably
What's
our- it's
allowed?
our- Yeah, it's probably R1,
R1, I bet.
all the way through there.
Our comprehensive plan?
Yes,
It can
comprehensive
be,
plan.
so this is the thing that, as I read through it, and I heard social media comments and others, the biggest impact is that the fact that it's C2. So in the county in C2, the things that are allowed inside the county C2 zone are not things that we want in that area.
Well, it won't be C2 when it's annexed into the
Because once they
city.
come up with a development plan, we're gonna annex it in at either
CC.
central business
Yep,
or
probably central business.
not HC, because the stuff that's gonna go in there is not gonna be commercial. But it's not gonna be like the fire station or the library either, it's gonna have to be a different. So we're gonna end up having to really think about what that zoning needs to be once they come up with a plan and we annex it into the city.
Well, we have to change the comprehensive zone because it's likely to be R1.
Well, yeah, but I think it would be more CO than it would be R1, because they're not gonna put houses in there, they're looking to do businesses.
I know.
So,
I'm just saying.
we could do
All
R1,
I'm
but you don't wanna
saying-
put it, you don't wanna bring it into this zone that's gonna then say need a special use for something that you put in
I
there.
understand, I just don't understand why they're doing what they're doing right now.
Just cleaning up the boundary line, because they need, my understanding is they need the 300 feet on the other side of what the library has
Right.
set aside for them, that Carlson's have set aside for them, to get access off Hanson, and
Right.
then access off of Fur down
Okay.
here by the canal, so that we're not interfering. So,
But
a couple of things that it really impacts are the walking path, and the fact that if and when it gets developed, it's gonna make more traffic. But when it gets developed, we're gonna get that road back. We're already quasi taking care of it now, because when I had the big potholes, we had to wait for the county to come fix them.
I know, but my point is for the folks at home that are upset and worried about this, it's irrelevant because there's nothing going on.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that it's zoned correctly and have that public hearing when we go to
Have that
annex
public
in
hearing.
the city and rezone.
So really, there's no reason to be upset what they're doing, I mean, because.
Well, there's upset because you don't know what's gonna happen, but right
Well,
now, it's
what
just
do you
a
mean?
preliminary to them
But nothing-
developing it and putting it into the city.
Nothing is gonna happen
Not right now.
until there's a public hearing and it's
Exactly.
brought, annexed into the city. At that point,
Right.
we can have that discussion, so then there's no reason to be responding.
Right.
So
We
you're
just
on-
need to send it down to them to say, you know, we don't have any comment, or we have comment, hey, understand it's gonna be annexed in the city the minute it gets developed, so don't screw it up and
I
change
just
it
don't, I
to
just
some
don't
other
think it's an
zone.
issue.
I don't think that's
Adam?
either.
I don't either.
Just so you know, we do have 2 letters from some concerned citizens behind your memo, so.
Yeah, I looked at those.
Okay, you've
And
got
that's
those.
why I'm saying what I'm saying. I don't think this is an issue that anyone has to worry about today. This could be 20 years from now. This could be 10 years from now. This could be, until something happens, this isn't doing anything. I mean, this realigning of zoning with the county is,
It's for them to get preliminary, ready to go for when we do it.
right. I mean, when people need to respond is when we have a public hearing with annexation and rezone. And that will happen.
To make sure that we zone
that will happen-
correctly for the use.
Right, that'll happen, the planning and zoning and happen here, and
Yep.
people have ample opportunity to be able to respond at that point.
Unfortunately, any comments we usually send them. They don't do anything.
They don't listen to us anyway.
So,
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it myself.
So what kind of comments do you want me to put?
Nothing. I don't know, what do you guys?
It's irrelevant in my book.
Yeah.
Irrelevant at this point?
Yeah, I mean,
Because they're-
we're gonna zone it, we're gonna zone it when we wanna zone it, and how much we're gonna wanna zone it, and it's not gonna matter what the county has to zone.
As long as
It's
they don't,
irrelevant.
as long as they don't change it from C2, as long as they follow what they've asked them to do, which is just clean up the lines and keep it the same zone. That's all they're asking. They're not asking to change the zone, they're just asking about the change
I thought
from
they are.
that square.
They are asking
They
to
are asking to
rezone.
change the zone.
To what?
They want it
No, it's
rezoned.
From residential ag to C, to C2.
Only a little teeny bit, see?
Yeah,
Just the-
Well,
This
that's
part
a
right
big,
here is all C2.
no, expanding
This is
C2,
what-
they
yeah,
want to
this is-
expand
already
existing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
they
right
could-
here.
okay, I could sell
Essentially,
from my
Oh,
map.
They just
yeah.
want
This
access
and
to
this
that.
is
That's
what
what
is
they're
zoned. It is-
Right, make
This
sure
is wrong, it
that's-
doesn't even
Right,
include that.
but they have that
That-
300 feet.
Yeah,
I
that's
see.
it.
Okay.
That's,
I see
so
what
they
you're-
wanted to just clean up those lines and keep it
We're saying the
C2.
same thing.
Yeah.
We got it.
It doesn't mean anything at all.
So, yeah, 2/3
Why are they
of
doing
the
it
prop, well,
It's gotta mean
because,
something, doesn't it?
It
well,
does.
yeah.
It means
Or not.
something, it means something to them as they go to get a developer to develop it,
Maybe,
but it, maybe not.
I don't know. I'm just saying from the standpoint of the city, the community, people, concerned citizens, it means nothing at this point.
This is gonna end up being ours anyway, and then we'll be able to have that meeting and everybody will do the voice
If
survey.
you know, if it ends up, a developer comes in, wants to develop something, then they'll come to the city to annex and rezone, and at that point, then everybody can come out and express their concerns.
And how does that work on this, on Hanson Road? Where it's where then we've annexed in this piece, that up to that line where they want that 300 feet. So now from the corner of Fur
No.
to there,
No,
Is it
anything that
become our
touches,
road?
anything that touches the city, all that new road, we pay for.
Yep, they did.
The city of Shelley.
right, we paid for the road, we paid for Hanson, right?
Yes,
Yes, we did.
because we own one side of it.
One side, our side,
We don't-
touching my
we don't
neighborhood.
whole thing.
But,
Well, we
but when
don't
you
know.
annex in half, it automatically takes the whole
We-
thing,
we-
in our
yeah.
jurisdiction.
We don't own an ounce of it, but it borders our city, and so we improved it. Even though the house is only one
I
house
think,
faces
is that what it was? It was the backs of those houses.
Only one house faces
The
onto
backs
it.
of my neighborhood
The
touch.
way we read the code is that if it borders the city, we're obligated, but I'm sure that it probably applies to the fact that you have to face it, but we had one house that does face it. So we
I
want to be
remember
good
that.
citizens for everybody, and so
It's a poorly
we
written
improved
statute.
it.
Very,
Right.
very.
So we improved it for the people in the
I
area.
think
Right, because
the
a
county's
huge
got-
pile should drive down.
It needed to be repaired.
County's got better attorneys than the city do. So.
That's not true.
Not against the
Oh, hey, the next time he goes to kneel down, just one of those.
Okay, let me rephrase that.
Yeah, you probably ought to
This
rephrase
all
that.
happens over in Boise, so it's the attorneys over in Boise,
The lobbyists.
the lobbyists, there you go, okay,
Yeah.
lobbyists, I'll go with that.
Well, it's a poorly written state law, that's
It
all it
is
is about.
written, yeah.
Anyway,
But the cities are represented by AIC, which is
Not a big enough lobby.
big enough lobby for the two American
compete
counties,
against.
so. Anyway, so nothing against BJ,
I'm
does a
not,
great
no,
job.
I'm just taking, we can move on, no big deal.
Okay, so you're good with that one? We can move on? Okay. Next, old council business, North Bingham County Park. Adam, you wanna just table that for now?
Yeah,
What do you want to-
I just wanna table Bingham County Park. You know, the thing about this whole acquisition of North Bingham County, it just seems like, I don't know, it just seems like those that are interested in us taking that over more in the county than they are in the city, than the city people. But also, I was hoping that would actually motivate for the recreational district to get going, and it seems like, once they heard that we were close, it's like all that's fizzled out and gone, so, I don't know. I'm just wondering if we wait till the recreational district comes in to play, and not take on that extra. That's kind of my.
well, that will have to be a grassroots type of thing, and like I said, at this point, it's not on anyone's radar here. I think
Well, it's gotta be
one
on the
district at
radar.
a time, we're looking at the sewer district.
Yeah.
And I agree with that, but I just like,
Well, we're already getting calls, people want us to go out and do something out there, and we don't own or have anything to do with it.
we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least
They
once
called
a
and
week.
wanted to swap
Are you
land.
serious?
Yeah, we get phone calls, they call my cell all the time and ask if the city crew's gonna go out there and fix stuff. That's either fallen over, broken, plowed, anything.
At the
we're
park,
tabling
at
it.
the park or at the?
At North Bingham County Park, or they wanna know who's in charge out there and they think it's the city already.
I know you'd think the name.
It's the
the
county.
Would tell them who to call.
The problem is what we suffer from here is people don't understand boundaries, and not to belittle the folks at home, because I wouldn't either if I wasn't involved in city government. But they don't understand that that's not in the city, it's not part of the city, it's the county, it's, so people oftentimes will think that the city, when you say city, it extends all the way from Jamestown to the freeway. Well, Shelley doesn't extend beyond
We don't
city
go past the
boundaries, and
parks.
so there's some things that we're not in charge of, and
East, is that what that is? Do you know?
that's a concern I have. The people get anticipation of things that may not happen.
I think you're right.
Okay, so I need a motion, Adam.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and table this North Bingham County Park acquisition until further notice.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded that we table the North Bingham County Park acquisition till further notice. All in favor? Kim? Kim?
She said
She
I.
said that.
4 in favor. Okay, next, streetlight on North Park and South Maple cost. Well, no.
So Justin, we talked about this before, the one on South Milton was approved, it's just taken some time getting them over there to do it, their schedule is in full. The one on Park, we needed a more definite cost, the closest he can get with the electrical engineers is $3,500 to $4,000, and that's about what it is over on South Milton. Those two, he's talked to Rocky Mountain Power, they're
And they know where they can get the power from on North Park.
on both of those.
Is that from Adam's house?
North Park?
North
He's
Park.
on South Park. Other end of the street.
And the one
Adam
on,
doesn't
the
call
one on
it
Milton's
like
house, Milton's in the middle of the block, right?
No,
Yeah, kind of.
no, I thought it was down by the turf, by the canal.
It is,
No.
it's
No,
down
there's
there, but it's
there's already one down there.
down that way.
The area they're looking at would be considered the old, Sugar Avenue from.
Right.
That
So right in the middle of
corner is
Sugar
500
Avenue?
going south, at about 2-3 houses down from the corner.
Yeah.
So we have
The
one
old
in the middle.
Butler residence, on
Yeah.
the corner, about
Yeah.
three
So
houses.
right about in the middle, and then
Yeah,
the other one's down
I
in the
think,
corner.
I think we need to do it. Do we need to approve it? What do we need to do?
I think we've already approved it, haven't we?
Yeah,
No,
we
we have not.
approved it, but you wanted a more definite cost.
Oh, okay.
That's as close as you
So
can
we're
get
good?
without.
So
them.
we
Yeah,
already
we
approved.
need to go ahead and approve to expend $3,500 to $4,000.
Okay,
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and approve the expenditure of $3,500 to $4,000 for the lights on North Park and South Mill.
I'll second it.
it's been moved and seconded, we go ahead and, put up the money, $3,500 to $4,000 for North Park.
Per light, right?
Yeah, per light.
Per light.
All in favor?
I
4 in favor. All right. Council reports, BJ.
Just as let's see here. I don't think I have everything. I talked to Sandy about a couple of things we're gonna get onto the next meeting agenda. We need to, I need to present, and we need to get on the agenda to adopt some findings and conclusions for the box crossing approval it did last time. I didn't catch it soon enough to ask Sandy to put it on the agenda, so a little delayed on that one. And then it sounds like we're moving forward with the process to declare that property surplus. And so we're talking about Mr. Rig Gold. Is that how you say his name?
Well, kind of, so
Sounds like we're-
the
That
appraiser passed away, who I had sent all the information to. Jeff, do you have another name for me to go to? I emailed them today and expressed their
You need
condolences.
to update your
And kind of
list.
thought maybe they would tell me if they had someone still do it or not.
We're down to either, John Chester, or we're looking at someone in Pocatello, which would be, I'll give you his name, he'll come to me, yeah, he's almost using America.
Yeah, I was gonna
I'm
say.
like, not the only.
Last I heard he was
in
out
town.
too, so there you go.
So there's a
I might
gentleman,
know some names too.
yeah,
Well, just to throw them out there, I don't have any
Just throw 'em out there.
preference or anything, no.
I don't
Just
think
if it helps.
it's anybody, if you know of anyone.
I'm trying to remember the name of the blast.
Liable.
Kind of like a commercial appraiser that we worked with here a couple years ago on a different matter. I don't remember his name, but I'll just dig around and see if I think I do have a name. Curtis was the first name I came up with too. I was
There's
sorry to hear
liable,
that.
and then there's still,
I can't remember the name at the moment. I'll have to-
yeah, he's from Rexburg.
So should I wait to hear from his office, or should I just go ahead and look?
If you hear of somebody else.
I'd go with somebody
Just
else.
go with someone else.
Okay.
Yeah, you mean like you're thinking there might be a junior appraiser, someone else in the office, or?
There's no other appraiser in that
There
office.
isn't?
I didn't
Okay.
think so, I thought it was just Curtis. but-
It's just Curtis, so.
Yeah, that's
Speak
too
for
bad.
not passing it on to his kids and
Well,
teaching.
I'll
Yeah,
just,
mine.
I won't spend much, I mean, I'm gonna spend a lot of time.
Okay,
so I'll
if
see
you'll
if I
let me
got-
know, because I've got the mapping and all ready to send
Yeah,
somebody.
let me see if I can,
Okay.
and it's a commercial appraiser, right?
Yes.
Not a residential, right?
Volunteer.
We need somebody with that additional training.
Is done?
Okay.
Move on. That's my
That's, I think that's all I had tonight.
Okay, Sandy?
Everything's going really good in the office. We're just chugging along. Justin did want me just to report that his crew basically has just been busy out plowing snow and moving snow
And doing a great job.
and, yes, I thought it was, they do a very, very good job. Anyway, that's all he really wanted me to report. He's still not feeling very well, so we're.
He called me today too, and one other thing he wanted to bring up. Probably need to put it on the agenda for next time.
For?
One of his guys.
Oh, the
is gonna take-
educational.
Gonna take welding, get a certification in welding. So it's, takes about 6 months, 3 classes, different classes. He's already checked out the program, done the tours and those kind of things. And me and Justin talked about it today, and I think that would be something that we should look into, is these guys that we hire, and also anybody else that's on there, because we pay the police if they get an extra certification, whatever, as these guys get a welding certification
sure.
or a CDL or
Well,
something
yeah,
like
we-
that,
we
if
had-
they're doing
we-
that,
yeah,
we
we
should
had-
reimburse their class. This class is
We
gonna
do
cost
have-
him like almost $2,000.
We
Like
do have
almost-
a policy.
We do have it in our
We
policy.
have a
Yeah,
policy.
okay. Well,
Yeah, it has to
he made
be-
it sound like he didn't know if that was in the policy or not.
Well, it doesn't, so the department head has to bring it to the council, and the
Right.
council has to determine, if they have to have a passing grade to be able to get paid back for it, but he has to tell you the amounts for it. So we actually had it on the agenda, and he asked me to cross it off, so we'll go ahead and put it back on there.
Oh, so I should have called you and said, yeah, put it on next time's agenda, and he'll be here to help too.
Okay,
Yeah, it sounded like a great thing. He's pretty excited about it. The kid's pretty excited about it.
You can get water certifications and get all sorts.
Okay, that all you had?
that's all I have.
Michael?
Jazz basketball started, we had our first set of games on Saturday. Everything's going pretty smooth, the school's been really good to work with, they're letting me use 3 schools again. The high school's one of them, so, I have quite a few refs that signed up this year, so some are better than others.
Yeah, I was questionable, the 8 o'clock ones were questionable, but no.
Is somebody new doing that?
She did a great job.
Hey, put her up, Josh.
So, but basketball's going good, coaches are good to work with, parents are being good. At the pool, the heater in the pit room died on us, so it was too rusted out, so I ordered a new one, and I'm gonna be installing that on Friday. And then Mayor's Youth Council, we canceled this Wednesday's meeting just because all the kids have finals, so we just canceled that one so they can focus on that. And I think that's all I got.
Okay. Jordan, any building inspector information?
Things are going good on my end. We got our first foundation going in out at the park, probably the end of this week or first of next week. Got a
Just
handful-
approved the permit for that.
Yeah, got a handful of plans that have come in for more homes out there, but no, things are going good on my end.
Okay. Chief?
Yeah, I got a few things. Reached out to the owner of Pacific Coast Kennels. Gentleman's name is Ken. He's gonna get me the information to get us a dog coming. Reached out with my contact at Premier Installation, so we can get 1107's Durango equipped and ready for the dog. So he's gonna get me bids on what all that's gonna cost. 1106, Officer Pacheco checked into the academy Sunday evening. He had his first day yesterday. passed all the entry stuff, his physical fitness, and he is just so excited to be there for the next 15 weeks. 1108, our new hire, Ballesteros, he's on FTO, and so far he's just blazing through phase 1, doing an excellent job, which I figured he would. Basically, he just has to learn the city and our way, and then so far we're doing that. And it's nice because he is full bilingual. He can write it, speak it, read it, so that's going to come in very, very handy. Let's see, Adam and Mayor, on the one applicant that we had concern with, I have an appointment Friday morning to try and get some answers.
He did get back to you, okay.
Yes, so I'll have us an answer cleared up then. Another good news, I was called this afternoon. We may have another certified, Idaho certified officer looking to relocate here. He should be bringing me an application this week, so that's positive too. If that works out, that'll be outstanding, because he's about a 8 to 10 year veteran. He would bring some certifications with him, instructor stuff that we could benefit greatly from. So I'll keep you in the loop on that, on how things go. So it's looking promising. Other than that, that's all I got. That's pretty good news for me for once. So other than that, just thank you.
All right. Jeff.
It is a glorious day in that Irwa sent his permit before Judge Jane Watkins, and he looked over the permit and has allowed it to go forward to be for a vote on May 17th as an election to become a sewer district. So
May 17th.
May 17th.
Who's making the flyers?
And we'll see.
Needs with help.
We'll find out how we're gonna approach this. We'll work on it. The mayor, Em and I have been working on it closely. The other thing that we're dealing with right now is trying to find funding for the plant upgrades. The state's given $415 million for COVID. They're giving most of it to the DQ. That means they'll spend about $60 million a year over the next 7 years, and we're hoping to get a piece of that pie for this project. Big piece of that pie.
COVID money? Because we were told us.
What's that?
Well, it's that ARPA funds.
Funds.
Yeah, it's COVID money, but it's.
It's American Rescue Plan Act.
It's
Infrastructure
It's the reason why the bread at the grocery store is
$5
gonna require a
Yeah.
little bit of cash.
Yeah.
You have to take out loans.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that will help build that plan.
Maybe set out a policy or procedure on how to go about getting those.
As well, it has to go before the JFAC. So if you talk to our House representatives, even if the legislative representatives, let them know about it. I mean, I'll write them a letter and get us on the radar that this is something that's very important that we have. But we need to get as much funding as we can for this plant. But we're well on our way to becoming a district after 20 years.
Good. I appreciate all your work.
Nice.
Anything else?
Ready for lift off.
All right. Life.
I don't have anything other than thanks to the city crew for all their hard work. I was talking to a few of them, ran into our garbage man at the grocery store, and he looked like he'd been run through the ringer, yet he was still happy and excited and telling me about all the fun things they've had to deal with snow removal. And he was happy about it. He wasn't derogatory, he wasn't upset, he just said, winter is so much fun. So I really appreciate, especially Toby, but all the guys on the crew, they've done a great job.
Okay. Kim.
I'm gonna pass.
Unmute.
Okay. Adam.
The other thing I want to mention is, I'm pretty excited for the future of the police department. I think things are going really well, and I think we're starting to get we have some really good people. I think some really good police officers, and I'm excited, so they're doing a great job, I think, for us. So
The only thing I've got is I just appreciate all the police officers and the city crew.
Thank you.
It's been, well, we've got a lot of snow in a few days, and it was kind of nice. I was hoping we'd get like 3 feet, but, you know, and now we need some sub-zero weather for about 2 weeks.
We might be getting it.
And then a few people will be moving, and that'll be good. So, but other than that, I appreciate everyone and all their hard work. So at this time, we need to go into executive session. Do you have a number for us, BJ?
I do. This would be, Idaho Code 74206(1)B. Consider the evaluation, dismissal, or disciplining of, or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent or public school student.
Okay. I need a
This
motion.
does
I'll make a
require
motion that
roll
we-
call.
What's that? I'll make a motion to go into executive session for that code.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? Jeff?
Roll.
Aye.
Leslie? Adam? Kim?
Aye.
Okay, we're in executive.
She's gonna stay on with us then. Kim, you gonna stick around then?
Yes.
Yes.
I
Okay.
didn't know how sick she was.
Okay, so everybody has to leave since we're in executive session. Chief, you need to stay.